Alright, so to continue with part 2 of the counter, I just broke them up into 2 videos. Makes it a little bit simpler if you know how to do one but not the other. Say maybe you've seen somebody do it before, or you feel like you're grasping the concept pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 3 more rungs. On each one I'm going to add another examine if opened. And on here, I'm going to throw a counter up. It's very simple, easy to use. Counter down works the same way, except obviously counting down rather than up. Just drop that right in there. And then with these right here, I'm just going to use count up and count down. Count up and done. That's count down. Once again, same concept. If you had to count down, you'd use CD instead of CU. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use CU. CU is basically the enabled of the counter. As long as it's running, it'll activate. I'm going to use counter done. Obviously, whenever the counter reaches the set value at which I want it to be, it will be active. So, I'll come up here. Got my counter, and so now I want to flip it over back to my user so I can add an output and an output. And then I'm just going to make this pretty simple. And let's do my outputs. I'm going to start with output 04 and 05, so therefore they're on a different line. And I'm going to do input 00 because it's a simple push button. So be very easy to make a count. Last thing we need to do is make a preset. Let's do 5. Alright, so we've got our input, counter, counter up, output, counter down, output. So let's go ahead and download this bad puppy. Asked me if I want to download it. I said yes. Proceed whenever it goes into run mode, which basically means don't want to be able to run it whenever I'm done downloading it. And obviously the answer is yes. And go online. And so I'm going to show you the screen first, and then the actual unit itself, and then the combo of the both. So, first thing we're going to do right here, registered it once. If you noticed, these two light up because it is enabled, just like how we had our timer up there. And then I'm also holding down the button. So therefore, counter up, lights on. I'll let it go. And we are at 2, now 3, 4, and 5. It is now constantly done. Therefore, done bit lights up, and therefore, our output lights up. And so, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come back out here, go off the program, go right back on, download all over again. There are more simpler ways to do this, but I don't want to throw in any extra parts that I don't have to for you guys. So therefore, let's just do a little quick review. I'm going to be pressing push button. Whenever counter up comes up, it's going to light the light, which will be the first light, which will be red, and this light will be yellow. So whenever it's done, or it hits 5, it'll light up. Alright. So, I hit the button, lights up once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and finally, 5 times. Alright, and that is how you do a timer and counter. Obviously, the mixture of the both would just be watching this light up, and it can go over Once again, in order to keep it from going over, that's more bits than what we really need. And if you guys want a little bit better explanation, you can always shoot me an email or look at one of my other tutorial videos.